Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sparkles, and that's my RV in case you're tuning in for the first time. And we are currently at the Wilderness Lakes RV resort in Menifee, California. And if you don't know where Menifee is, it is about 10 to 15 minutes north of Temecula on the 215. And Temecula, if you don't know where that is about an hour north of San Diego on the 15, and it's also the wine area of Southern California, like further south than Napa. Let's see. So today I wanted to talk to you about how it's okay to move forward. There was recently on Facebook, and I'll have to see if I can find it, and I will put the link in the comments down below. There was a TED Talk done by a woman who says that we don't move on with grief, that you don't move on from grief, you just move forward. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that because I realized that today, it was a year ago today, that I boarded Celebrity Solstice for the Inside Passage to Alaska. And it was my first time on a solo cruise, my first cruise without Brad, and the first one since he had passed as well. And that was a very emotional day for me. I did not realize how emotional it would get. On Facebook, I was all happy and trippy and everything else, and inside I was falling apart. People always know me for my sparkle, and so for some reason I just wanted to keep up that appearance. I didn't want to let people in to realize how much I was hurting at the time. In fact, even thinking about it, it gets me choked up as well. But I was moving forward, but I wasn't moving on, because we don't move on from grief. We just move forward, because that grief is always with us and will hit us at any time. And the hardest time for me on that cruise was during the safety drill. I'm standing there in the area with all these other people. Everybody is standing in couples. So there's couples standing there holding hands, couples with arms around each other. There was, you could always tell the newlyweds, they're the ones that are canoodling in the corners and all that sort of stuff. And here's me standing by myself in the middle of this room, totally alone, by myself. And it was at that moment that I realized that Brad wasn't coming back. Not only was he not coming back, that this was now my life. This was now my reality. I would be traveling by myself from this day forward unless I brought a friend with me. So it hit me really, really hard. And all I wanted to do in the middle of the safety drill was just curl up on the floor into a small ball and just let the emotions flow. But of course, me being me, I don't like explaining. I was in this room full of strangers. I didn't want people wanting to find out what was going on with me. So somehow I still to this day, I don't know how I did it, but I managed to hold it together. And that drill was the longest 40 minutes of my life. And of course, when the safety drill's over, everybody just meanders on out and up the stairs or waits for the elevator. And all I wanted to do was run. I managed to wind my way through the crowds very quickly, and as I stepped out of the area where we had done the safety drill, the elevator doors opened in front of me, and I ran inside there, hit my deck floor, which was 10, and I was on 6, so I had 4 to go, and I hid in the corner with my head down, and I made myself as small and as invisible as possible. I was not making eye contact with anybody. And it seemed like we stopped at every single floor, but as soon as I got back to my room, I let the emotions flow and had a go and let the sparkles of love flow freely, as I call them, not tears, sparkles of love. Let them flow freely. And then as soon as that was over, I managed to pull myself together, do a couple of postings on Facebook, and then I went off and had my spa treatment. But it was just being in that crowd and having that reality hit you. And you never know when grief is always with you, and you never know when it's going to raise its head and go, you need to have a reaction right now, or you need to show some emotions right now, or I'm going to hit you really hard, or just, it just surprises you sometimes. It could be something as simple as, I found a bottle of Brad's cologne when I was moving, and I made the mistake. Well, it's not a mistake. I hadn't smelled his polo for a while, and I sniffed the polo, and that was it. Tears of just flowed, because it was that smell. I've always loved that cologne on him, and so it was a chance to move forward. And I have been finding that through my journey over the last few days of giving you guys information about my changes that are going on in my life right now, moving from a house to an RV, all the stresses that's been going on, all the stress relief that has now gone away, and all the things that I'm learning about myself, as well as not just emotionally, but also the physical tasks that I am now learning on how to take care of my home. That people are private messaging me with their stories about how they've but how loved ones have passed anywhere from 10 years ago to as recently as 2 months ago. And and having them reach out to me has been, it has been, how do I put it? It's been helping me through my emotions as well with the grief. And to be able to turn around and help somebody else through their journey that they're going on as well has been, it's been a feel-good moment. You know, I know what some of them are going through and all of that, and be able to have those conversations with people. Some of them are complete strangers I have never met in my entire life. They just happened to catch my Facebook Live, and they sent me a private message, and just reached out. And those ones are sort of like, wow. And it's very humbling. It is very humbling to think that I can help people through their grief while I'm going through grief on my own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that video, and I'm going to put it in the comments down below so you guys can, or I'll put the links in, I'll put the link up in the description so you can click on that, or down in the comments. I'm going to put it in the comments. That's what I said earlier. I'm going to put it in the comments. Keep it straight, Helen. But if you feel like you need to reach out and just want somebody who understands what you're going through with a grieving process, having lost a loved one, then I am more than willing to listen. I'm not a grief counselor by any means. This is just personal experience that I am sharing with people in an effort to reach out. It's helpful for me to do it, to reach out and let people know what I'm going through, because maybe it will reach somebody and help them as well. So not only am I helping myself, but I'm wanting to reach out and help others too. So if you have lost a loved one and you just need an ear to listen, or someone to just talk with, I'm happy to help out as best I can. Like I said, I'm not a grief counselor. It's just me through personal experience. So with that, we'll make it a lighter note. Just remember that no matter what happens, today is always super fantastic and sparkling. Until tomorrow, have an awesome day.